Happy Friday, LinkedIn Legends. It's Johnny OZmosis down in the Oz Cave. So today I wanted to unearth something with you that has to do with chasing clarity. It's a theme, a mantra that's come up in the last few days. The start of the new year was an interesting one. I think I've remarked on this in other content after coming off a pretty incredible 2020 and an exclamation point, I should say, to 2020 at the end there of December. So chasing clarity has really rung true. And even in this conversation, or this, I should say, this quick monologue, I'm thinking about my mentor, Chuck Collard, who coached me up last week and talked to me about some of the content I posted out, gave me a lot of props, but also, hey, get right to it, John. You can do this. I know you got a lot of energy. So, you see me looking down a little bit, but again, the theme here is chasing clarity. And so in that clear mind, by using breathing, mindfulness, yoga, meditation, and really just working on visualization and focus, I'm seeing that the start of February has been much better than the start of January. And it's backed by some of my wearables, some of my things that I talk about, Whoop, Garmin. I recently got off the Apple train, but that said, wanted to highlight a few things. I just came off an incredible event with Karl Shallowhorn, who is a leadership, mental health legend of sorts. And so I've followed his journey, and he had an incredible virtual Zoom event where he talked about leadership through a new lens, and he really did a fantastic job, so much so that we almost couldn't leave because there were just so many questions and comments and stimulating conversation that resonated with me. So a big shout out to Karl there and for what he's doing and all the work he's done for many decades now. That was really incredible, and being able to connect with people all over the country was awesome. Folks from Kentucky and Chicago. So Karl Shallowhorn, check out his consulting firm. He's fantastic. He's doing coaching. Can't say enough good things about him and what I just came off of. And that brings me to all over the country, having conversations lately through LinkedIn, as I'm always professing the power that's behind LinkedIn. Milwaukee, South Carolina, Florida, New York City, Toronto. Some of the conversations are familiar, some are not. And what I mean by that are, things like my Toronto conversation. A good friend, college mate of mine, Keenan Gentry, saw some of my content on LinkedIn. We haven't talked in a couple of years, but he's a great friend, and it was just awesome to hear from him and have it be the source of LinkedIn. LinkedIn, he goes, I've seen your content. It's resonated with me. It's really cool. Let's catch up. I would love to hear how things are going. So big shout out to my northern friends there, especially to Keenan there. And then, just recently doing a conversation, or there will be a conversation, a virtual podcast coming with a friend of mine, Andrew Metz, must follow. And that's METZ. He's out of Milwaukee, and we've connected through LinkedIn because of the content that he puts out. I put some content out, and we've noticed each other in our feeds. So here we are now, a couple of weeks into a new friendship, maybe even a month, and we're going to do a virtual podcast to talk about all things mindfulness and mindset and optimization and transformation. Andrew's gone through a transformation of sorts, and his content is fantastic. It's engaging. It's real. Things that I try to do in my content. So must follow Andrew Metz, part of my Follow Friday. So Andrew Metz, gave him a look. He's in Milwaukee. He works for a company called Zywave. So just some recent things too, where chasing clarity keeps ringing true. Yoga Steve Procknal, did a podcast with him and released that. That was fantastic. There's so many of my friends, and just even outside of my inner orbits, we'll call it, have reached out and said that podcast was awesome. It was actionable. Things like free fitness and win the morning, win the day. There's so much in that podcast that folks have made mention to me. So I appreciate that, and you're telling me that it was useful. And of course, big shout out to Steve there, Yoga Steve. And then just some incredible other things that have come up, conversations I've had that all corner around chasing clarity. It's something right now where the economic, times are still difficult. Public health is still uncertain. The public health situation is. And so by chasing clarity, by leaving this little video that I'm throwing up here on LinkedIn and my YouTube channel, with, again, the foundation of breathe more, drink more water, pause more to reflect, try to, have specific times of the day where you are on your screens, and make sure there are times where you're sweating. So it's, this is a shout out to Colin Henderson that I did not even plan, but sweat before screen will work for a lot of folks, meaning move your body, get a little workout going before you're out in front of a screen. It'll really help with clarity, with focus, and again, even pulling back off of the conversations with Yoga Steve there on doing the breathing, 4-7-8, box breathing, things that Navy SEALs do, things that top performers, top athletes do. It's something that's really starting. I'm even seeing it. I'm seeing tangible evidence and an improvement in just the way I'm thinking, the way I'm interacting with folks, and even the way I'm speaking here. Always with passion, always with energy, but today it feels even clearer, and I'm excited to see where that goes. So just again, that chasing clarity keeps ringing true, keeps coming up, and it's really helping, again, through some of the times we're living through, and for whatever your goals are. If you've got goals of transformation in a physical sense, or just, again, your mental conditioning, your mental fortitude, how are you going to be that rock for your family, or for your, that leader for your company? It all starts with the mind. It all starts with clarity and focus, discipline, things I like to talk a lot about. So, it's crazy. And so just one last thing too, what underscores this entire monologue here is the law of attraction. It's come up in so many conversations with Yoga Steve, with my brother Nick Martone, with Keenan Gentry, again, my buddy in Toronto last night, and the list keeps going on. Evan Giokis, who I was with this morning for 2 hours, of the college confidence coach here in Buffalo. Law of attraction. There's just things that are happening that cannot be explained through just coincidence. It's through putting good energy out. Good energy is going to come back. You do good, good's going to come back. It may not happen right away, but it will happen. And it's been pretty fascinating and pretty invigorating, in the least, to say that I'm seeing the law of attraction at work. So again, we got this, you got this, as always, right? Keep going, keep putting your one foot in front of the other, right? And remember too, one last thing I'll leave you with here. It's progress, not perfection. When you're figuring out that transformation, what are the next steps to your journey, your comeback, your improvement? It's progress, not perfection. And that was said today on Karl Shallowhorn's event. So another shout out there. So Johnny OZmosis down the Oz Cave. Thanks for listening in today. Make it a great weekend coming up. And as always, if you got questions or any comments, feedback, I'd love to hear from you on any of my platforms, namely LinkedIn. So Johnny OZmosis in the Oz Cave, out.